Welcome to Wolf 359.
Could you hand me the torque, Captain?
Yep, here you go.
Torque wrench. You know, that actually reminds me of a story. Jacoby, did I ever tell you about the Argentinian incident?
No, sir. I don't think you have.
Well, I was stationed at Buenos Aires at the time, working undercover as a member of the Argentinian film industry. I'd been there for about 6 months when suddenly
Colonel? Could I ask you a favor?
Shoot, Captain.
Would you mind going to the main storeroom on the foredeck and picking up some extra tin wire? That way I can patch this sensor into the network.
Not a problem at all. I'll be back shortly.
Jacoby?
Mm-hmm.
Is Colonel Kepler in the habit of... Does he always tell these crazy stories?
To keep a long story short, that's how I proved the escape from Alcatraz is feasible.
Whoa.
Anyway, long story short, I'd be able to retire from the sale of those antique salt and pepper shakers.
That's great, Colonel.
And to make a long story short, that's how I almost made the Olympic badminton team.
Huh.
Well, long story short, that's why I had to walk away from my funk band.
Really?
Long story short, they were able to grandfather me into the worshipful company of haberdashers. Such swell guys. In the end, though, long story short, I was able to return the Oscar. No harm, no foul. But long story short, that's why I don't trust professional bowlers. And long story short, anybody who tells you that you can't distill moonshine with a straight six-motor just hasn't tried hard enough. Long story short, though, they did make me their god. Well, long story short, the Swiss ultimately waived any charges of insider trading. And it's a good thing, too. Long story short, that's the last time I saw Maxwell's feet. But to keep a long story short, Theodore Roosevelt was absolutely right about what's out there in the woods. And anyway, long story short, that's why I don't remember anything from 1987. The year may as well have never happened.
Jacoby?
Oh, every now and then.
This has been Wolf 359 by Kinda Evil Genius Productions. Tonight's episode was written by Sarah Shackett and directed by Gabriel Urbina. The role of Loveless was played by Cecilia Lynn Jacobs, the role of Kepler was played by Zach Labresco, and the role of Jacoby was played by Noah Mazer. Original music by Alan Rohde, and audio recording by Jared Paul. Please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/Wolf359Radio.